What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Early Edge. We are brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. My name is Nejad, and we already have a very active chat. It's Joshua Daves that says, "What's good? Let's make some money today." Well, Josh, let's see if we made money yesterday. The recap screen. Oh, looky here. 5-1. We love to see this. We got a plus money play courtesy of Jeff Hochman in there. 5 wins, 1 loss. And oh, by the way, the 1 loss was a plus 175 from M Squared. So we definitely made you some good money here on a Monday. It's Tuesday, though, ladies and gentlemen, and it's Talkback Tuesday. We've got a really fun announcement to get to later on in the show involving Splash Sports. You might already know what I'm talking about. $5,000 guaranteed in a contest. Does that interest you for NFL Wildcard Weekend? I hope so. Let's bring in the stars of the show. We've got a good one today. We've got buckets. We've got Tom Casale, who's back, Jeff Hochman, and super contest winner Brady Kannon. Brady, I'm going to start with you, my friend. How you feeling?
I'm doing great, Sia. Good to be with you gentlemen on a Tuesday. Yeah, NFL wildcard weekend. I said it earlier before we came on. It's nice not to have to handicap 16 games anymore. We've got the cream of the crop, and you can just dive in heavy to a handful of them. It's kind of nice. It's a little bit of a break. And you know, Sia, we need a break because you and I both, we're getting ready for golf season, right?
So I'm glad you brought that up. We should have had the Century to break down along with the NFL wildcard games. Unfortunately, the Century was canceled back in October. So we're starting the season with the Sony Open. And Brady, I had reminded everybody yesterday, I believe, Golf Picks will be back on this show starting next week as we have about 40 tournaments to go throughout 2026. So buckle up because all those round matchups, some of those outrights, the early wedge, all of that is going to be back very soon. Certainly the round matchups and outrights on this show will be back. Early wedge will be back very soon as well. Jeff Hochman, how you doing? Nice hit on the plus money with the Mammoth yesterday.
Thanks, Sia. Good to be with everybody once again. Yeah, those overtime games in the NHL. Since 2015, when the NHL went to 3-on-3, trying to reduce more of the shootout results, it's a crapshoot in the NHL when you get to overtime. So, 3-on-3, there's a lot of space on the floor, and it's a lot of randomness. Just so happy we can win, and overtime wins in the NHL are extra sweet.
Buckets, you look like you're dressed like right after the show you're going to the club. What's going on? This is like a night at the Roxbury feel vibe going to.
Dude, I'm too old to go to the club anymore, Sia. I don't do hangovers. I don't do staying up late. I'm in bed by like 8 o'clock. I'm an adult. It's crazy to think about, but I just, I got to show off the chain still.
I mean, adults are offended everywhere by you likening yourself to them. Tom Casale, you're back in the saddle. I got to ask, how you feeling?
I'm doing good, thanks. The pain pills ran out yesterday, so now it's back to the real world. But no, I'm starting to feel better. Thank you.
All right, let's get to some picks and buckets. As usual, you're going to kick us off with a play on the pitch.
I will give us a play on the pitch, but I'm also going to give us a live look, something to keep an eye out here this morning in Serie A as Pisa are taking on Como right now. It is 0-0 in the 46th minute. If at any point we get Como to score at playable odds, I want you guys to take that because I will be taking it myself for a unit. It's minus 175 right now, so we're not there yet, but Pisa is the worst home team in all of Serie A right now. Como fighting for a European spot. They've already missed big chances in the first half. Como will score eventually, so something I just want people to keep an eye out for. I know minus 175 is too juicy, but give it 5-10 minutes, we'll get that playable. Now for my actual play on the pitch this afternoon, we've got Sassuolo taking on Juventus, and I'm going with the classic here of both teams to score, and I'm not doing it because Sassuolo is this incredible team that knows how to score against everyone, or because Juventus is this defensively flawed team they can't keep a clean sheet. I'm doing it because of the way Sassuolo plays. It just pisses me off, and I'm tired of missing out on money on this club. Sassuolo does not play to win. This is not a team that's coming out every day going, come on, guys, we got this. Let's go out there. Let's kick some ass. Let's run up the pit. No, this is a team that plays not to lose, and it's working, and it frustrates me that it's working because Sassuolo is 10th on the table, and they are consistently drawing against teams that they have no business drawing against. This is a team that just took points off Parma 1-1, Bologna 1-1, and AC Milan 2-2. They do nothing until they concede, and then they go, all right, let's tie it up. Let's get the draw, and then they draw, and then they park the bus. It's a very annoying team to bet on in terms of money line, but in terms of both teams to score, when you've got Juventus with Kenan Yildiz playing out of his mind right now and Sassuolo scoring when they shouldn't score, I really like the fact that this is playable at minus 110. Maybe be careful playing the over or under here. as Sassuolo showed us, they love a 1-1 draw, but I love both teams to score in this fixture.
Jeff Stewart wants to know, does buckets like Fenerbahce, both teams to score minus 128? Also, did I say that right?
You did say that right, or I've been saying it wrong for the better part of the last 4 years. Either one is equally possible. I do like it. Fenerbahce is a good defensive side, only 14 goals conceded in their 17 matches. But Samsunspor is a team that has so much quality in their attacking third. They've got European pedigree. This is a team that knows how to score goals. I think Fenerbahce win, but a 2-1 score line sounds nice to me.
All right, and you feel free, as you always do, to interrupt me if that live bet comes to a point where we all need to make it. Let's see. Speaking of making bets, Big Cheesy says Najee Marshall over 12.5 points minus 110. We all know Big Cheesy is super sharp. Brady, you're super sharp. Again, super contest winner, which is just incredible. But you've been really crushing it in the NFL as of late for Sportsline. I mean, in general, but like especially, I don't know, I can't put a time frame on it. Maybe you can. The last 3 or 4 weeks, you've been on fire. And it's interesting because on this show, and we don't discuss these picks beforehand, on this show, it just so happens that we're all kind of in on one team on Wild Card Weekend. Now, it is Talkback Tuesday. If you have questions about any other games for Wild Card Weekend or college basketball or NHL or soccer, we're going to go ahead and answer them. But the Chargers, Brady Cannon, is a team we're all kind of looking at this weekend, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Monday I jumped in and just took my initial look and started running some numbers and that type of thing. And, the Chargers was one that kind of popped off the page to me initially. And as we get further into the week, maybe there will be more, but these lines look pretty tight. I took a look at the 49ers. I'm wondering if that 4.5 is starting to get a little high, but the Chargers was the one I landed on. And, schedule has become a 4-letter word for Patriots fans and Patriots backers, but there's no denying this schedule that this team played. When you look at the playoff teams that they played, they were 2-2. They split with the Buffalo Bills and they split with the Steelers and the Panthers. The Steelers and the Panthers are the worst 2 teams in the tournament. Okay. The Chargers went 3-2 against playoff teams, and they played the Jaguars. They played the Texans. They played the Eagles. They played the Denver Broncos. I'm not counting week 18, and I don't think I'm sidestepping a data point there. Week 18 doesn't count, that game with the Chargers and the Denver Broncos. You look at the quarterbacks that the New England Patriots played, and this is courtesy of Cleve TA on Twitter. Number 1 in the NFL, 61% of the snaps that defense faced were against backup or lousy quarterbacks. They faced Geno Smith, Tua, Bryce Young, Spencer Rattler, Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, Michael Penix, Justin Fields, Joe Flacco, Brady Cook, and Quinn Ewers. So is Drake May the MVP? Maybe he is, but it's, a fact that this team had a little bit of an easy road to hoe. And I think this line's too high. I think getting anything more than a field goal is a real gift here. When I crunch all my numbers, I actually come out to the Chargers as a 1-point favorite. Maybe you throw in home field and that becomes, New England by a point or a 1.5. But, there is 1-4 I've seen out in the market here at the South Point in Las Vegas. I would grab that. I'm fine with 3.5. I have a feeling it'll close 3 and maybe even 2.5. I think 2.5 is probably about the right line here in this matchup, Sia. And of course, that means if we're getting the very important 3.5 on the other side of 3, it's a take for me.
Yeah, it's interesting because I thought the number should be 2.5 as well. And then it occurred to me that if it was 2.5, it just all would have gotten scooped up and bet up to 3. So to me, 3 is the right number, but certainly not 3.5. And Brady, it's obviously a huge difference between those two.
No doubt about it. I mean, those are probably the 3 most important numbers in an NFL football game, right? 2.5, 3, and 3.5. If you like the dog, you take the 3.5. If you like the favorite, you lay the 2.5. And it might come to that if we ever see a 2.5 pop. But I just think this is a really evenly matched game. And to give the Chargers, I think there's also a bit of a perception thing here, okay? The New England Patriots steamrolled in their last 2 games. Oh, yeah, it was against the Jets and the Dolphins. The Chargers lost their last 2 games against the Texans. We know about that team. And then a game that didn't matter against the Broncos. So, and that's who's mostly landing on the New England Patriots right now is the casual, recreational, general public bettor. We'll see if the wise guys get involved here later in the week. I think they will, and I think they'll take the 3.5.
Well, Jeff Hochman's a wise guy. Jeff, you have 2 picks for today. One of them happens to be the Chargers. We'll save your other pick for later on in the show, but I don't know if there's anything. Oh, Buckets, go ahead. You have the live card to go,
I will
right?
never interrupt Brady or Jeff, but I will interrupt, so I had to wait for you to start talking again here. Yes, Como 0.5 team total right now is -130. That's where I'm taking it. Again, greet it how you want, but we've already dropped from -175 to -130. Just wanted to put that in there. I'm in for a unit. Back to you, Jeff.
Okay, well, really quick, if people weren't paying attention on the front end, what is the live bet right now?
Oh, it's Pisa versus Como. We're taking Como to score or Como over 0.5 team total in the Serie A matchup that is currently in the 53rd minute.
All right. Jeff Hochman, again, I know you have 2 picks. Let's talk about the one. You also like the Chargers plus 3.5.
Yeah, love the Chargers plus 3.5. I mean, Brady laid it out perfectly. I don't think I can add too much to his analysis, but I will say since week 12, the Patriots' run defense has dropped to 30th in the league in EPA per play. And you look at these first-year quarterbacks that are in the playoffs, it has not gone well. Since 2002, these first-year quarterbacks are 25 and 40 ATS. That's 35.4%. Excuse me, I should say 35.4% outright wins. And then you look at Justin Herbert. He has experience in the postseason, and I think it gives the Chargers a big-time advantage. And if you remember back in week 10, I used a data point where the Chargers played the Vikings, and Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh, they talk on the phone, if you remember, right? So the Ravens recently played the Patriots 2 weeks ago. So I think Jim Harbaugh will pick up some valuable insights from his brother when they talk on the phone. So I'm definitely fading the Drake, and I'm grabbing the crucial hook at a discount. I got plus 3.5 -105, just like Brady did at Sportsline when I put it in on Monday. Monday, yes.
All right. I know we have some college basketball questions in the chat, Tom. And by the way, believe it or not, there's more on the Chargers later in the show, but it's not a pick against the spread here. Tom, do you have a take on this particular game or any of these NFL games? And there's also a question. I'm trying to see where it is. Oh, it was from Darian Mercurio on Bowling Green plus 2.5. Any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, well, I think the guys made great points about the Patriots. Like, one of the things I like that the Patriots did this year is they didn't play with their food. They slaughtered bad teams, right? That I like when teams do that. But I think one of the underrated things about the Patriots is I don't think Vrabel has really built this defense to where it needs to be to play the best teams in the league yet. I think that's going to take another season. They've done a great job of revamping the team from last year. But as the guys mentioned, there's still some weaknesses on that defense that we haven't quite seen because of, as Brady mentioned, the quarterbacks they've played, right? And I think that is going to get exposed in the playoffs. I'm with you guys. I thought maybe I was looking at injuries at 3.5. When I saw 3.5, I just didn't understand the line. So, I know that the Chargers have the issues on the offensive front, but the Patriots don't have a great pass rush. They're not Houston, right? So I think that's a really good pick. In terms of the Bowling Green line, I do like that team overall. They recently tripped up against Miami of Ohio. So this would be a nice bounce back spot for them.
Speaking of Ohio, he also, Darian, for today's slate, also had a question on Ohio, minus 4.5 against UMass, Ohio at home there.
Yeah, so Ohio is a team that's starting to turn it around now. They started the season slowly. I was going to look at them today. The 4.5 is a little bit too high. I'm probably going to like them more on Saturday when they're at home again, where it could be 3 or under. But that is a team I think it's time to start looking at. They had some injuries early in the year, and we're getting to the point now in the season where you got to take November and kind of flush that out, right? Mm-hmm. All these teams have 10 new players in college basketball, so you can't really look at the team struggles in November. I'm looking at how they're playing now, and I think Ohio is one of the better teams in the MAC.
Okay, we're going to get your actual college basketball official pick for today. And we're actually going to get, Jeff Hochman, we're going to get your hockey pick later today as well. Speaking of hockey, BetMGM players will receive an NHL odds boost today. Just make an NHL bet, and if you win, you'll get extra money in unrestricted bonus dollars. Again, we'll have a NHL pick from Jeff Hochman later on in the show today where you can use that BetMGM odds boost. But here's the really cool announcement. You all might remember the Splash Sports contest from a few weeks back. Well, Splash Sports and Early Edge have teamed up again, and we've brought it back. This contest is live right now. We already have almost, I think, 200 people in it. And we're going to put the link in the chat. We're going to put it in the YouTube description. We're going to tweet it out. So it shouldn't be hard to find. But for those listening that just want to just type it in right now, it's splashsports.com/early edge. Again, splashsports.com/early edge. Although if you're already on Splash Sports because you did this contest previously, just go into the app, type in CBS Sports, and you'll see CBS Sports commish pop up. You click on that, and then you'll see the contest right there. It's a free contest, and we've got $5,000 on the line. The top 10 get paid out, and first place gets $1,500. It's all you got to do is pick the wildcard games. That's literally it. NFL wildcard weekend is here. And again, we've got $5,000 on the line. So join that contest at splashsports.com/early edge. Or if you're already a Splash Sports subscriber or you've already downloaded the app, just go ahead and search CBS Sports and the contest will pop up right there. All right. I think that'll do it on the Splash Sports contest. We got to get to our Sportsline pick. And Tom, I don't know if you have any thoughts here. This one's from Larry. Larry hit his play yesterday as well. He likes West Virginia -2.5 at -109. Tom, any thoughts in that one?
Yeah, I lean West Virginia today. They got Kansas coming up on Saturday. I'll be interested at home. Interested to see what that line is. Kansas is in a good spot tonight, but this isn't a great Kansas team. So I'll be interested to see where West Virginia is on Saturday. This game is going to be 55-50. Cincinnati and West Virginia both have terrible offenses, but I would lean West Virginia. It's got to be under 3 though for me to go with it.
Jeff, I thought I saw you nodding your head. Was I misinterpreting that on this play?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with West Virginia.
Okay, fair enough. All right, let's get to a break. I got to give out just a small, maybe a 0.2, 0.3 unit future that I like. We got to get to Tom's pick, and of course, we got to get to a lot of your questions as well. And then we've got an NHL pick. Oh my gosh, we got so much to do. We'll get to it right after this message from our partners.
The new era of UFC on Paramount Plus comes out swinging. The highlight machine collides with the Liverpool Phenom, and the Hall of Famer returns to take on the Bantamweight champion. UFC 324, Saturday, January 24th, only on Paramount Plus.
A lot going on in the chat. Mike McClure is in there. Buckets is putting out his live plays, which of course you verbalized a few moments ago. All right, I think we need to get Tom to your college basketball pick, and it's a late night game, so I guess we're all staying up pretty late tonight. Thanks to you. What's the play?
Yeah, I like Nevada. I know we always debate on how to say that. So yeah, we always say it wrong. But the last Saturday night, San Diego State was in a wild game. I know Jen, M, and I were in the Discord. We were one of probably 2 of the 10 people watching the game against San Diego State and Boise State. It was incredible, insane triple overtime game with unbelievable shots. So got San Diego State coming off that really long emotional win. I did have Nevada circled here anyway. This is a team that's won 7 straight. It's a team I'm really starting to like, and I'm trying to get ahead of the market here a little bit, playing at home. If you look at this matchup, one of the things Nevada has to do is get to the foul line. They shoot free throws as much as anybody in the country. They get to the foul line, they convert there, and San Diego State fouls at an above average rate. And if you start to get tired legs in the second half, that typically leads to more fouling. You got the offensive rebounding edge for Nevada. So you have to look at those 2 things with the Wolfpack because they don't always shoot the ball well. So I like the fact that they have an edge at the foul line. They have an edge inside in the paint on the offensive boards. So listen, this will be a competitive Mountain West game. But you're looking at the money line at around -120. If I wouldn't go again, the spread for me has to be under 3. It would have to be 2.5 or less to take this because we're getting in again. We're getting into January now. We're not. This isn't November where we had 3 or 4 point differences with spreads. I make Nevada -3 here, so it would have to be -2.5 or less for me to hit it on the spread. But right now, I would take it on the money line.
All right. Big Cheesy in the chat says he likes this play as well. He took it last night. There was a question about the Splash Sports contest. Pogo picks. Jason Pogwa says, is this straight up picks or is it against the spread? Yeah, it's against the spread. And if it's like last time, you designate one of your picks as a worth 2 as opposed to worth 1. So that's something you're going to want to do as well. Buckets, I seem to recall you beating me last time in the Splash Sports contest. Is that true?
I do believe that's true. I'm actually filling mine out as we speak. I've got Chargers +3.5 as my best pick. A completely original thought by me here, but excited to see how that one plays out.
It's probably a good time, Jeff, before we get to your hockey pick for me to give out my future. And again, this is not a full unit play, not even a half a unit play, but it will be for me like a 0.2, 0.3 unit play. Again, join that Splash Sports contest. If I didn't mention it, it's free. Like it takes you maybe 2 seconds to get in there and look at that. Look at those payouts. For a free contest, $5,000 guaranteed, $1,500 to first, $1,000 to second place. Looks like $650 to third, $475 to fourth, and so on down the line to 10th place, which gets $150. So let's get as many people in that contest, because the more people we get into a contest like this, the more we get to do it in the future. So while some of you might not want to promote it because you're like, well, I want to win this contest, so I don't want that many people to be in it. The truth is, your odds are higher for, winning when we have contests every single week next year and we get payouts like these. So let's try to encourage everybody we can to join this very free contest with $5,000 guaranteed. So I didn't know we were coming to the show with 2 Chargers picks from Jeff and Brady. I happen to have a Chargers future, and I do want to bounce this off of you guys. And Jeff, I'll start with you here, and then Brady, I want to get your comments. Obviously, you all like the Chargers plus 3.5. Doesn't mean you like the Chargers to win necessarily. But when I see the AFC lineup and I see that the odds on the Chargers are 13 to 1, not to win the Super Bowl, but to win the AFC. And I'm not super intimidated by those AFC teams at the top like I might be in the NFC when I look at the Seahawks and the Rams. Yeah, those are intimidating teams. But when I look at the top of the board for the AFC, Jeff Hochman, and it's the Denver Broncos, and no disrespect to the Patriots, but, the Patriots, and then you see the Bills and the Jaguars, who I happen to like all of a sudden. I'm not that intimidated if I'm the Los Angeles Chargers here. 13 to 1 seems pretty long, right, Jeff?
Yes, 13 to 1 is extremely outrageous line. I'm going to take a shot with them at 13 to 1. These teams that have their bye, they usually come out a little rusty. So the Chargers, assuming they, get past the Patriots, and I would tell everybody to try a little bit on the money line for the Chargers. It seems like it's really good value, but 13 to 1, are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
Yeah. Brady, it does seem like, to me, this, and again, I haven't crunched the numbers, but I would have expected to see 10 to 1 or plus 950 on this. 13 to 1 seems kind of egregious. And I get it. You're playing the Patriots in the first round. You're going to be on the road. You've got the injury issues. But again, we think 3.5 points is too big of a number against the Patriots. I don't think any of these AFC teams are 3.5 points better than any other AFC team, personally.
Yeah, you nailed it. When you set it up, I mean, the AFC, and I think we've been talking about this for a couple months, Sia, the AFC is a toss-up. Jacksonville looks really good. The Broncos have the defense. The Patriots have Drake May, but, we wonder if they played the tough competition. The Chargers have the recipe, I believe, that is successful in the playoffs. A strong running game, a pass rush, and a defense that's playing really well right now. I mean, those are 3 elements. Those equal Jim Harbaugh, don't they? And those are 3 elements that I think you need in playoff football. Also, by the way, our friends at BetMGM, the AFC favorite, as you know, is the Broncos. The highest ticket count is on the Buffalo Bills. No surprise, big public team there. Highest handle is on the Broncos. Biggest liability is the Broncos. No mention of the Chargers. Flying under the radar, Sia. Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
All right. We want to get to, let's see, Sox Nation says Jim Harbaugh might be the best coach in the playoffs. Knows how to win. I mean, I don't think he's the best coach in the playoffs, but I think that's a decent argument. Jim Harbaugh certainly knows how to win. I think he's proven that in the past. Tom, it looked like you wanted to jump in there.
Yeah. So a couple of weeks ago, I took Houston for the exact same reason you guys are saying. This is wide open, and I went with a defensive team without those quarterbacks. I think there's a lot of value here on the Chargers. Here's the only thing that concerns me. I think this was the Chargers' year. I think at some point, losing both starting tackles could catch up with them, because Bobby Hart was the worst player in the NFL 5 years ago. And he's starting now at left tackle. That's an issue when you start to go up against some of these teams, to me, like Houston and Denver, where they can get after the passer. If they had just even one of those 2 tackles there, I think they would have won the Super Bowl. But if they get caught, I think that's going to be why.
Yeah, and I liked Houston a few weeks back as well. Houston makes a ton of sense. Me, I'm just fishing for the longest number, but I agree with you. You play a team like Houston and those edge rushers with Danielle Hunter and Anderson. I mean, that's going to be rough with those tackles. Buckets, I wasn't sure what you were laughing at. It was probably at me, but Ray Garcia wants to know Nottingham Forest money line.
There's one of my least favorite thing that cappers do, and I'm guilty of it myself, is say that this is a must-win game for a team when you're like halfway into the season and it clearly isn't going to matter if they win or lose. West Ham's actually kind of in a must-win position. This team played Wolves last week, a Wolves team that had played 19 games this season and had 0 wins, the worst team we've ever seen in the Premier League, and West Ham lost 3-0, got absolutely smacked, and didn't get a single shot on target in that matchup. This team is imploding right now. The fans are demanding for anyone and everyone's head. They don't know what's going on. They want to see this club win, but I just don't know if we're going to see them win. If they play how they did against Wolves, Nottingham are going to win this matchup by multiple goals here. I think the money line is worth a delicate sprinkle. I also don't hate Nottingham Forest 1.5 team total as well here. That's plus 120 if you don't like taking the money line route. But West Ham's just so unpredictable. It's hard to bet on them, but I do understand wanting to fade them, Ray.
A couple questions for you, Tom. And again, I still realize we got to get to the NHL pick, but I want to get some of these questions out of the way here in the spirit of Talkback Tuesday. Sox Nation says, Tom, Dayton GW. Sox Nation likes Dayton in a bounce back. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Dayton. I think George Washington is one of those teams that doesn't like to play defense, right? So it's hard to trust those types of teams on the road. I like Dayton here in this spot. If the number was a little bit lower, I probably would have taken them myself.
And I'm not sure if you're aware of this because I know you're doing a show right now, but Ryan Fedor says, Tom, why is the Michigan PSU, a Penn State spread, dropping like a rock?
I just think it's, again, we're getting into, so on Saturday, Vanderbilt opened 18.5 over South Carolina, and I jumped on it right away. That moved down to like 10.5, right? I think sometimes when you start conference play, these lines are a little inflated based on what happened on neutral courts. When you get in a conference, it's hard to lay 25 points right on the road in conference play. How focused is Michigan on this game? I don't know. And I think that's what you have to start looking at when you get these early conference lines, is a lot of these numbers are based on what like Michigan did 2 months ago. I'm not saying they're not a great team, but it's a little bit different going and playing true road games in the conference and laying, upwards of 25 points. That's a lot. So I think you're looking at the pro bettors seeing some value there and taking the underdog.
Big Rody in the chat says Buckets 2028 with an exclamation point. That must mean only one thing, Buckets.
Como scored right there in the 67th minute. Live odds right before the goal were plus 130. If you were trying to greed that, congratulations. On a side note, I would be a horrendous president. I cannot advocate for something less. You don't want me anywhere near office. See, I need to get that out there. But the bet hit, which is great.
I think you'd be a great president, personally. Okay, well, there we go. We've already got a cash for a lot of the people that were watching the show live. Whether you're watching the show live or not, thanks for watching. I do want to ask everybody to put who you think is going to win the AFC. Just name the team who you think is going to win the AFC in the YouTube comments. All right, let's finally get to this NHL pick, Jeff Hochman.
Yeah, we're going to fade another New York team. I like the New Jersey Devils. I got plus 105 at BetMGM yesterday. It is now minus 115, but that's still okay. Look, the Islanders are 2-0 against the Devils this season. They won both games by a single goal. They got outshot in both games, 67-49. And if you look at New York, they're going to be without Bo Horvat. He has 33 points, 21 goals in 36 games this season. He accounts for 27.5% of the team's scoring. His absence and 57.6 face-off win rate, which is 8th in the NHL, are major losses. They're also without their top defenseman, Matthew Schaefer. He has 28 points. He plays 23 and a half minutes on the ice, which is one of the top defensemen in the league in terms of ice time. The Islanders are 32nd in high danger shots against, and that was with one of their best defensemen on the ice in Schaefer. Now, Sorokin returns after missing 7 games for the Islanders. He is pretty good. But with a depleted roster in front of him, I think the Devils are going to have more scoring chances than usual. So I'm all over the New Jersey Devils tonight at plus 105.
All right. We're taking the Devils at plus 105, and we're willing to play that at minus 115 if that's where you find it as well. Buckets, what's so funny?
I don't like fanboy or fangirl often, but seeing Chip Patterson text me in the middle of the show saying Como live in all caps, it's a cool experience. I feel good about it.
So he texted me a few days ago, right before New Year's, and it said something to the effect. It was basically like a Trevor Lawrence, like a bunch of Trevor Lawrence statistics, and he just wanted me to make sure I knew the how well Trevor Lawrence is playing. And meanwhile, I bet on Trevor Lawrence last week with the touchdown prop, and bet on him again with the touchdown prop this week. That was the prop I gave out yesterday. Trevor Lawrence over 1.5 touchdowns, chip, passing touchdowns at +110. Let's get to a couple more questions before we wrap things up. Buckets is him, says Big Cheesy. Two that I think, okay, one, Tom, you mentioned the West Virginia game and how you think it's kind of going to be a rock fight. The total in that game is 134.5. Do you have any thoughts there?
I wouldn't go over.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
hammering the under either.
No, that's you're talking about two teams that struggle to shoot from the outside, so they have to get points in other ways through turnovers, getting to the foul line. It's just, yeah, that's that feels like a game played in the upper 50s to me.
Duke Louisville is an interesting game tonight. I was surprised to see that spread. I thought it was like 1.5 or 2 in favor of Duke. I mean, I hate to be like the chalky guy, but I kind of like Duke in that one. How about you?
Yeah, I'm surprised we went this long without a Duke Louisville question. This is a tough one. Louisville is going to be a little shorthanded tonight. They're without Mikel Brown, one of their best players. Years ago, back when I didn't know how to bet and I'd be ditching bookies and stuff, somebody gave me some great advice. Just because the game's on TV doesn't mean you have to bet it, right? Like, to me, this is a tough game. I know it's the biggest game of the night, but I'm just going to sit back and watch it. If Louisville was at full strength tonight, playing at home, coming off a loss, I would like them a lot more than I know they're a deep team, but you take one of your best players and have to play Duke. That's a lot to ask. So the spot for me is Louisville, but with the injuries, it's a pass.
Yeah, and I misspoke. It's not Duke that's favored on the road. It's Louisville favored on the road by 1.5. It's looking like. All right, last college basketball question from Big Cheesy. Tom, any thoughts on Texas Tech, Houston?
I think the line's a little high. I like Houston. It's a team that I like, but they haven't been overpowering teams yet. And Texas Tech, typically, not against Purdue, but typically has played their best games against their toughest competition. So I could see this game being close. I like the points with Texas Tech.
Let's see. Michael Heimseth says, any Africa Cup picks buckets?
There's a matchup between Algeria and DR Congo starting up in 25 minutes. It's one of those tough matchups because it technically doesn't matter because qualifications already happened and we're just kind of playing out the group stage. Even with that being said, Algeria with their backups have been doing really well this tournament and scoring a ridiculous amount of goals. I don't hate a sprinkle on Algeria over 1.5 team total. It's +150, so a bit out of my usual comfort zone, but Algeria just has so much talent, it might not really matter here. Besides that, I'm staying off of AFCON until we get past the group stage.
Charlie Kennedy says, Jaguars have covered 8 in a row and are still a home dog. Make it make sense. Okay, so this was the other one. Brady, I'm going to start with you. 2 lines I thought were off. And one was the Chargers line, which we've discussed pretty heavily today. The other was, and I understand the mystique of Josh Allen and all those things, but I was actually surprised that the Bills, as constructed, are going on the road and are, a 1 to 1.5 point favorite. Brady, are you surprised by that as well?
Well, not especially. When I crunch all my numbers, I have the Buffalo Bills as a 1.5 point favorite. I think the line is probably about right. I also feel that the books are probably, like you allude to, Sia, they know that Josh Allen is a feature guy here.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of rooting for this guy to make the Super Bowl. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Joe Burrow. It's Josh Allen's time, right? But I would be with this gentleman in the chat here. I think the sneaky dog is the Jacksonville Jaguars in this case. I think it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. I can't wait to watch it. I don't know if I'll be betting it, but I did identify this, guys. I think teasing Jacksonville up to 7.5, 8, 8.5, something like that with the Green Bay Packers to the same number, 7.5, 8.5. Those are good, reasonable teasers where you can go 6, 6.5 points or something and get it through and over the key numbers. That looks like a good bet if you want to go that way.
I love the Jags in a teaser, but I definitely also like them to. I've been just everybody knows, for the prop show and for later on this week, I've been looking at props, so I haven't really been taking many sides. But those two, I really like, the Jags and the Chargers, 2 dogs there. I'm actually looking at 10 props that I like right now on my little. I do like the little handwriting thing. if we had more time, I would just like race through them real quick. I haven't made them official yet, so that's why you haven't heard about them. But maybe tomorrow I'll race through these on tomorrow's early edge. Jeff Hochman, any response to that Jaguars line, and then we'll wrap things up.
I think the line's about right. I think it's a popcorn game where you just grab your popcorn and watch it, and you don't have to stress about any bets on that one. It should be a fantastic game to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if either team won. I found no edge in the line.
All right. Kyle says, see you take Avs money line and buckets for president. Any thoughts, Jeff Hochman, on the Avs money line?
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, they only have 3 regulation losses this year, but sooner or later they're going to put in a clunker. I would lean to Colorado, absolutely.
All right. 2 quick things before we wrap things up. One, make sure you join the Splash Sports contest. And again, it'll be in the podcast description. We're all going to tweet it out, and then it'll be in the YouTube description as well. It's a free contest, and there's $5,000 on the line. All you got to do is go into Splash Sports and pick the games against the spread. It's truly that easy. The other housekeeping note, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. So let's go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Buckets.
Let me jump in on something real quick here. I am unfortunately and regrettably a human being, so I make mistakes. AFCON is out of the group stage, which means this game really does matter. I look like an idiot here, but I'm glad we double-checked this. I like Algeria team total even more now because they are playing their best starting 11, and this is a round of 16. So in a weird way, I was wrong, but this backs my bet even more here, but just wanted to make sure to address that and let everyone know that I was wrong on that one.
Well, real quick, does that implicate your official play, or was that a chat question?
That was a chat question about the African Cup of Nations going on right now. I said Algeria might not try. They're definitely going to try because we're out of the group stage.
Fair enough. All right. I don't think that's a huge mess up on a chat question. Jeff Hochman, go ahead.
I just wanted to give you props, Sia, for winning our Sportsline Futures NFL contest. Not an easy contest to win. I mean, so you did a really nice job on that one. You needed Philadelphia and Green Bay to lose in Week 18, and you got it. Yeah. Otherwise, Bob had a chance to take you. But yeah, great job, Sia.
Appreciate that. I haven't really acknowledged that quite yet. I'll probably tweet something out. I mean, listen, people think of me as a golf guy, a golf matchups guy, and an outright guy. Brady, obviously, they think of you in that context too, but they know you're an NFL better. People don't really realize that I do a lot of, I was number 1 at Sportsline in NFL player props last year. And I don't think anybody really knows that. And then this year winning that contest was pretty cool. It was all predicated on me hitting all the win totals, hitting Denver, hitting the under on Kansas City, and a couple of the others that I had. So yeah, that's a great contest. Some of the most talented people I've ever been around are in that contest. So it was really cool to win that one. Jared says, nice work. So you appreciate that. And thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate that as well. All right. We've gone long for a Tuesday. I mean, this Talk Back Tuesday was truly a Talk Back Tuesday. We had a lot of NFL to talk about, soccer, college basketball, NHL as well. You guys in the chat, you guys and girls in the chat have been so good today. Really, really appreciate it. Let's go to the recap screen. Chargers to win the AFC. This is just a sprinkle future, folks. I mean, you don't even have to bet this if you don't want to. I'm putting 0.2 to 0.3 units on it. But I just think this number is really off. And clearly Brady and Jeff Hochman agree. Sassuolo versus Juventus, both teams to score -110. That comes from Buckets. And then he hits another live play during the show. And I love that Ben has updated the recap screen here because he just keeps hitting these. And it's just really cool to see people cashing in before we even hit 10:30. Buckets, go ahead.
I love the comments because Como actually scored 2, so it's now Buckets. Why did we not take 1.5 team total at plus 500? Because I'm an idiot. That's the only answer there, guys.
Buckets is too conservative. Yeah, that's the big knock on Buckets. Nevada money line -120. That's tonight from Tom Casale. New Jersey Devils +105. That one courtesy of Jeff Hochman. And both he and Brady Kannon are on the Chargers +3.5 at -105. We've got a Sportsline pick. It's courtesy of Larry Hartstein, who hit his college basketball pick yesterday. It's West Virginia -2.5 at -109. Again, do not forget the Early Edge Pro Football Playoff Pick'em, courtesy of Splash Sports. It's free. It's $5,000 on the line. And again, if you're already in Splash Sports, like you've already done this contest before, just go into the app and type in CBS Sports, and CBS Sports Commission will pop up. You click on it and you'll be right at the contest. But if you're new to this contest, go to splashsports.com/earlyedge. Again, splashsports.com/earlyedge. Go to that link and you'll go right to the contest. Again, it is absolutely free. Gosh, what a great show. Nice work, Bucket, says Jared. Great cast, says Typhoon. Great show, great picks. Well, hopefully they are great picks, but certainly the analysis behind the picks is always great. It's just a matter of whether we cash it in. We went 7-6 on the recap screen yesterday, 5-1 on the recap screen today. Let's see if we can do something like that on tomorrow's recap screen. Brady, thanks for joining the show. We'll see you very soon to talk NFL, but also to talk some PGA as that gets going next week. I cannot wait. We got Jeff Hochman, we got Buckets, we got Tom Casale, and we got all of you to thank. And of course, Ben on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s. Everyone have a great Tuesday. For now, we rest our case.